Kristin and this is a video for day number 263 of my Song a Day project and for Halloween. And the song that I'm doing is Don't Fear the Reaper by Oyster. All our times have come here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind or the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper, we'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper, baby, you're my man. Valentine is done here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. 40,000 men and women every day. 40,000 men and women every day. Another 40,000 coming every day. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper, we'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper, baby, you're my man. La 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 la. La 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 la. And came the last night of sadness, and it was clear that she couldn't go on. The door was open and the wind appeared. The candle blew and then disappeared. The curtains flew and then he appeared, saying, don't be afraid, come on, baby. And she had no fear, and she ran to him, and they started to fly. And they looked back and said goodbye. She had become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Happy Halloween. That was my rendition of Don't Fear the Reaper by Oyster. And it was a little difficult to get down because I had not known the last verse, and there's some like back and forth parts in it, but I think I got it down pretty well. The memory card space ran out at one point, and I had to go over the chorus in my head while I was taking the first part off because I got it all like jumbled up when I was trying to do it the first time, but I think it worked out alright. Anyway, it's a really good song, albeit very morbid and somewhat disturbing, but it's apropos for Halloween, so I decided to do that for the occasion. And it's always been a song that I liked. Although I did not know all the lyrics prior to this, I did know most of them. But anyway, it was funny and annoying when I was practicing the song because this thing from Psych the Musical, oddly enough, since I just mentioned that like 2 videos ago, kept popping into my head. There's this part where Sean, so annoyingly, as he so often was, would do in this British accent this line when he was saying Ripper, like Jack the Ripper, but it sounded like Reaper. And he was like, Reaper! Reaper! And so when I was doing the chorus, it kept coming to my head. I was like, oh my gosh. Kind of like when I was doing Because the Night End, and I kept inexplicably developing a Russian accent on the one word. But anyway, it's kind of like one of those things where you hear her say something over and over and it starts to seem wonky. But anyway, it is a really good song and very creative. Makes me think of a few different things. I guess it makes me think of that now. And it makes me think of Dead Like Me, which was a show about reapers. And I actually was a reaper, like based on that, for the last Halloween I went out on, which is maybe when I was 20, 21. And just like black felt and whatnot, and like a sickle. I always thought the beginning part of that show was hilarious. It was a really interesting show, although I really hated the bad language. I initially started watching it when it was in reruns on Sci-Fi, so it didn't have bad language. But then, when I wanted to finish the series out, I got it on DVD. Yeah, it was pretty intense. And then they made a movie following that, which is like prior to the Veronica Mars movie and stuff. So it's cool when a show you like, gets that, last chapter or whatever. But it also makes me think of Supernatural. There was a Reaper storyline on there, and she actually came back in the picture later. But there was this memorable interaction between Dean, who was dying, and this pretty girl who was actually on an episode of Veronica Mars, who played a Reaper, and she was trying to take his soul, but he wasn't ready to go. Still isn't, 10th season. But anyway, so I think of those Reaper-related things when I think of the song.
Although, you know, I thought the song was more just metaphoric, but I didn't know the last verse prior to today, and they do actually allude to a being, a soul-taking being. But, so it's interesting. Reapers aren't necessarily supposed to be bad either. I guess that's why they say don't fear them, or him, or whatever. But anyway, another thing that the song makes me think of is one of my favorite Halloweenish movies. Mainly because the remake of the song is used in the end of the movie, in like the last scene. That's pretty cool. But also because there's like a cloaked Reaper-looking figure in the movie. And that movie is The Frighteners. It's a really great story-driven, sort of horror-esque movie. It's not one of those dark, you know, poorly acted, run-of-the-mill type horror movies. It definitely has a horror element. I mean, there's, you know, like serial killings going on and stuff, but it's got a supernatural element and a really interesting story, and, you know, it doesn't all turn out bad like some horror movies where you're like, why did I watch this? I'm so depressed. But it's from 1996, I think. Of course, I didn't see it until I was older. I didn't see it until maybe within the last 10 years ago, I don't know. It had Michael J. Fox in it and Trini Alvarado, who I saw just recently on Black Box, I think, this past season. Yeah, it's the story of this guy who can see ghosts. And, oh, it had Chad McBride in it from Pushing Daisies, too. And a lot of people. Yeah, it's about this guy whose wife died, and he can see spirits, and he sort of is like he's sort of a con artist. Like, he plays off of people's fears and, you know, like, rids their houses with spirits, but he, like, brings the spirits with them and stuff. But then he comes up against this, like, really evil being, and he has to fight it to save people, and it's really interesting. Very cool movie. If you've never seen it, you definitely should. One of the top Halloween-esque movies that I would recommend. You know, there's also Hocus Pocus and stuff. There's lots of good movies, and there's lots of really, really dumb ones and bad ones. But anyway, that is not one of them. But and I did decorate around here haphazardly. My dad and I actually both decorated, like, you know, as it was getting dark this evening, and it probably in about 15 minutes. We decorated really nicely. It's the best haphazard job ever, but apparently I have to worry about decorations with these cats. They destroyed so many of our priceless Christmas ornaments last year, and Eddie ripped out a bunch of fake spider web and is chewing on it, and that's really dangerous. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know about decorations. But, and now he's trying to eat fake spider web out of the cauldron that I have over there. But, he's a troublemaker. But anyway, didn't end up getting any trick-or-treaters this year. Thought that we might, because there were new people in the street, and I put a sign up by the road, tried to make it all welcoming, but alas, no one. And I ended up sleeping most of the evening when I still haven't even really done anything Halloweenish. Although I got this book of Roald Dahl ghost stories. I don't think he actually wrote them, but it still should be pretty cool, although reading takes lots of time. But after years, I finally got my hands on this weird but oddly entertaining macabre sort of movie that I saw years ago that I have on tape somewhere, taped off of TV, but no idea where it is. And I got some video credit on Amazon, and I had to like scoff that up. So it's this weird movie called My Boyfriend's Back, where this guy dies and comes back as a zombie, but everyone's just sort of like, and treats him like nothing happened. And it's very weird, but it has a more involved storyline, and it's actually quite interesting. And and there are some disturbing parts. And I've only seen it once, and it was a long time ago, and I'm only part way through it this time. But there are actually some people in it who became big name actors later on, like Philip Hoffman back then, played this like lunk-headed jock who would just like say like one line and be like rah. But and Matthew Fox, who had sort of funky teeth back then, but he was like, you know, the heartthrob boyfriend, and you know, it was long before Lost and Haunted, and probably before Party of Five, yeah, I'd say. But anyway, though, it's interesting. I think it might actually be made by a Disney affiliate. It's sort of weird. But interesting movie. But I haven't really gotten to do anything Halloween-esque other than that. You know, other than watching Haven, which is always sort of Halloween-esque. And I missed Grimm. I couldn't wake myself up, so I have to find a way to watch that. But it is disappointing about no trick-or-treaters coming, though. I even had this nice assortment of 4-gram vegan cookies. Vanilla in the front, chocolate in the back, little fun packs. Although, it doesn't make sense, you know, that fun size means like, you know, smaller. Wouldn't it be bigger ones that kids would have more fun with? But I watched that movie last year, Fun Size. It wasn't great. They had Victoria Justice and the girl from Suburgatory. I think it's weird that there's a Victoria Justice and a Victoria Principal. But anyway, But so no trick-or-treaters, and I didn't really get to do anything Halloweenish. But it is still the night of Halloween for me, even though it's like sort of in the middle of the night. But anyway, and I did want to do this while it was still night and, you know, Halloween adjacent. But I'm solo on memory card space. I have it all the way on low resolution, which is really not great. And I've been jockeying back and forth between two memory cards where I have like 22 seconds on one and like 2 minutes and 2 3/4 minutes on the other. And I've been like running to the back to take pictures off, and this has been taking me like 45 minutes. It's really annoying. And of course I didn't want it to be long, but I'm always long-winded and I have a lot to say, especially since it's for Halloween, and I have lots to say about horror movies and other Halloween related stuff, so it's taking a long time. It's going to be like a million pieces I have to piece together. And by the way, I did not get my October 1st video up before October 31st concluded. So that is aggravating, but I'll try to get things under control with editing and posting as soon as possible. I actually got over 3 minutes out of that one card, so I can only imagine how long this is going to be if those are like 3.5-minute segments, and I don't even know how many trips I've made to the back. But anyway, one more thing that I was going to share. As I mentioned in my previous video, I've decided to share cute Halloween things on the few days surrounding Halloween. For the actual Halloween video, I am sharing my favorite of those cute Halloween songs that I remember from elementary school. And as my dad and I were walking down from the road after putting the sign up, you know, my trick-or-treaters welcome sign that didn't work. Although if I had it up earlier, maybe it would have helped. But anyway, I was singing the song for him, and he got a kick out of it. He was like, "You should do that for Patrick." I'm like, "I'm doing it as an extra." But anyway, I guess it's called Luved. It's really cute. It's really creative. I've always liked the song, and I remembered it like I think word for word for like 20 years. Okay, so here it is. The wobbling goblin with the broken broom could never fly too high, 'cause every time he'd take off, another piece would break off, and soon he would be dangling in the sky. Each evening, just as he would leave the ground, his radio would say, "Control tower to goblin, your broomstick is a wobbling, you better make a landing right away." Soon he got so he could only fly when the witches took him piggyback. But then one day he used his brain and bought himself an aeroplane. So if you look for him on Halloween, you'll see him zip and zoom. No harm can befall him, no longer can they call him the wobbling goblin with the broken broom. Isn't that adorable? I love that song. And I don't know who wrote it, when it's from, yada yada. And I didn't look into it. I don't even know if the internet has any record of it. Perhaps. If I find anything else out about it, I'll put it up for the video. But it was always super fun. And isn't that adorable? I love that song. And that is like an actual Halloween song. So there you go. Awesome. Well, this video probably won't be up till like freaking mid to late November, but hopefully I'll be able to get on a better schedule with that soon, because it's getting like totally out of control with this backlog delay situation. But Eddie is just jumping around, wrecking havoc here. He's so funny. They like destroyed the front of that house that my grandfather made. That's not good. Go, Ed! Woohoo! He's fun. And you can see my decorations there a bit. I just shoved these in here. I didn't even put them up with anything. This is rolled up a little bit. I just kind of like, you know, wound that around and stuff. Very haphazard job, but it came together pretty nicely, I think. But anyway, oh great, now he's playing with that. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Eduardo Montpelier is a mischievous boy. That's not his actual name. That's just the nickname that I have taken to calling him for some weird reason since he was little. Of course, me being in here brought attention to this area, and he's like, "Ooh, what are all these strange decorations? Let me mess them all up." He's a troublemaker, but he is pretty adorable. Before Jake found this, I have these two like fake black roses, and one was in this like goblet thing I have over on the piano, and I saw Jake running with something in his mouth, and I was worried at first that it was a mouse, but thankfully it wasn't. It was one of these fake roses. And my dad had thought the same thing when he saw that, but you know, it was a false alarm. But I do not know what happened to the rose. I took it away from him once, put it back in the goblet, and he somehow extracted it again without knocking the plastic cup over. And I found 2 petal pieces a couple places around the house. I'm like, where'd it go? Jake is a klepto. He steals pens and memory cards and memory card cases and pieces of plastic and stuff and shoves them places. Like, even behind my pillow on the couch and under the rugs and stuff. I'd be walking on the rug and like, why do I feel a pen under here? But it's hilarious, and he'll take a pen in his mouth and he'll like run triumphantly down the hallway. I'm gonna sit down the street, down the hallway or whatever. But anyway, they're cute, but they are a handful. But yeah, and decorations, this is just a preview of what Christmas is gonna be like. I said we could just throw the ornaments on the floor. When Lily was a kitten, she was the little angel at Christmas time. She slept under the tree with her little stuffed animal we gave her. But these guys, 2 or 3 of them, Leo was very well behaved all through Christmas and in general. But these guys, they would run up in the Christmas tree, fight, knock balls down, hockey them around. Eddie would lay up in the middle of the tree, like, this is cool. Yeah, but so decorations don't fare well with these guys. But really, I mean, I just put these decorations up a few hours ago, and they've already ripped them down. Things have gone missing, yada yada. But these aren't incredibly meaningful decorations. So mainly the concern is that these guys aren't doing anything dangerous. Like eating fake spider web. But anyway, so I will take the camera around and show you my decorations after I wrap this up. But anyway, so once again, long ago, before all my rambling, that was my rendition of Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult for day 263, of my Song a Day project, and for Halloween. And then that cute little Halloween extra, which I've always loved, which is a probably relatively unknown song that I've always liked, and is super fun and very Halloween appropriate. So anyway though, I got cut off again by the memory card for like the umpteenth time, so I don't remember if I had said anything else that didn't get captured on there that I am not remembering to repeat. But anyway, so once again, that was my rendition of Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult for day 263 of my Song a Day project, and for Halloween. I'm Kristin Starr. Happy Halloween, however belatedly this goes up. Thanks again for listening. I'm Kristin Starr. Peace. Do, 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 do. There's some other non-Halloween stuff and some random stuff around here, but there's the stuff for the trick-or-treaters that never came. There's a bat that's supposed to fly around in circles. There is a knife cutting into someone's flesh that I had worn as part of my Halloween costume one year. My dad made that. Pretty cool. Happy Halloween. Trick-or-treat. Some pumpkin stuff. Some cool pumpkin garland that I hadn't even remembered I had. Eddie, who just happens to be hanging out there. We put this over the lamp. It looked cooler when it was plugged in. There we go. My dad and I both thought of that. There's this little Halloween spool thing. And over here, that was over the picture of me and looked really cool. That's me as a little kid. It's a pastel, I guess. And that's where the rose disappeared from. That was a school project that became a macabre Halloween decoration. And just some other stuff here. And we have another pumpkin elsewhere. And Timmy Two-Tone hanging out as well. Anyway, thanks again for listening. I just bought another piece of the rose. Oh, and I forgot about this. Fun, right? Anyway, thanks again for listening. I'm Kristin Starr. Peace.